and welcome back to Making a Difference, where we interview amazing organizations that are making a difference in our community. And today is no different. I'm your host, Whitney Mincey, joined by very special guest, Miss Adela Hittell from Project Human, A New Way to Think. Tell us all about that.
Well, Project Human Think, A New Way to Think is all about a new way to think about being a human being. We are in a world where we can build buildings, build computers, build AI, build everything, but we have not figured out how to build a functioning human being. So what we've figured out is that, well, why don't we take it on as a project? Because being a human being is a lifelong lesson and a lifelong journey, as it is. We're ever changing, ever evolving. And one of the things the society has told us is don't ever change, don't ever really, you are who you are, you're the best at what you are. And so our whole mission and our whole goal is to inspire human beings for individual thinking, self-accountability, responsibility that leads to consequences, good or bad, but consequences of your decisions, not choices, because again, we have 1,000 choices we can do, but we made one decision today, which is to be here to have this conversation. And when we make these decisions, we have to commit and follow through. So we have to use and redefine our narrative and the language that we use. And instead of being afraid of commitment, accountability, responsibility, discipline, we need to actually be like, well, those are really good artistic things that we can use in our life. How can I be disciplined in making my bed every day? Because I like my bed very neat and very clean. My husband does not. He'll like whatever. But how do you work in that collaboration? Well, if they're not going to do that, it's up to you, right? Like it's up to you to make the decisions that are going to make you feel joyful. They're going to bring you absolute light into this world. But we don't know how to do that because we're expected to work for everything around us instead of within ourselves. So we teach requirements. We teach where are you and we have a hierarchy of needs, if you will. We have a need, we have a want, requirement, and need. Where are you? Are you in a survival need or are you in a living need? And you have to really be honest of where you're at. If you're in a living need, which is where we are at, we have the ability to transportation, we have maybe insurances, we have a roof over our head, we're in a living need. Now how do we create a better living space? If we're in a survival, how do we move from survival to a living need to get to what we want? And so we teach you to remove the words of expectations out of your language and go, well, what's the requirement? What's the right? Like you literally lit up too. You're like, what's the requirement?
Absolutely.
Because there are jobs that have requirements. Why are you not yourself a job? Why are you not taking applications for the best things for your own CEO?
Take yourself seriously.
Seriously. Right? And we don't, because we're taught, and we're really taught, and this is from ages, our parents, generational traumas, and that's where we come in with really teaching human beings about mental health. Your mental health is only a small part of your overall being. There's spiritual health, there's physical health, there's mental, there's emotional. So when your whole being is off balance and you don't know how to put it together and you don't have the words, we come in with art and go, you know what? Maybe your words can't say it, but if you draw this out, or if you paint this, or if you cook this, or if you build this, that's art. And we don't find value in that because it's not right now on social media, or it's not how pretty we are, it's not how much we have. And so we really have to go back to the basics, and we work about coming back to elementary level, everyday functionality. What are you doing for yourself today? Because you only have one life. And your breath and who you are today is so important, and you impact someone so much just through a conversation. So if we can teach humans that your conversation, your words are the words of God or the words of power, whatever you believe in, but really have the words, then you have to understand yourself before you can speak the words.
So how can organizations work with you? I'm sure that, the business leaders out here, immediately their ears perk up and they're like, this is great team building, wellness, all of that. How do they work with you?
Well, our whole mission when we come to our organizations is that we want to really build a safe environment for humans to come in and collaborate together. So we have a creative team building class that we do. It's a 3-hour class, and we do different art directives. Now, mind you, we are not medical professionals, I just have to say that, nor do we have any medical expertise in that. However, we are a peer-to-peer advocacy group, and we come in and we educate and inform you through these different art directives that we have had the pleasure of either learning through professionals, or a professional will come in and help us do that. But we'll cultivate it to your organization, to your room, to your setting. And we come in and we talk to you about what people you have, what's going on in there, what do you want to do out of the culture? Do you want to build up morale, or do you want to build up productivity? How do you do? Because both are needed, but how do you do that and what do you do? So when we don't have a cohesive collaboration and words cannot come in, we come in and we go, no, you have to work on an individual level on this piece of whatever we have. Then with whatever resources you have left, you have to come in and create something together.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it goes back into the teaching of creating a self and the structure of a home. Then with what you have left to be of service to others, right? Then you can build something great. And at the end of that 3 hours, we come together, we break, everything's done as a team. We put things together up, we take things apart together, and then we have a collaboration of a conversation of what was so different that you learned here about your teammate.
That's incredible.
What was so learned that you learned about your company? What would you like to change? Where does the responsibility fall now? Is it on you? Is it on them? Where does it for yourself, not for us?
Yeah.
So we hit two birds with one stone. Not only we teach about self-care and self-responsibility, but we also teach about the responsibility of society and to others and values that, and I know companies want right now, specifically because we don't have that, but they don't know how to appreciate because we don't know how to be human.
Yeah. All right. Well, Adela, we are almost out of time, but I would love to know what's coming up this next year for you guys.
Okay, so we have some great things ahead. We are finishing up our Define the Narrative documentary, and it is about really defining what words mean. We started with what is mental health. We'll be finishing that up in July, finishing our portion filming to submit it next year to Sundance and a couple other film festivals. So I'm really excited. And then we also have the Artists Within podcast that's coming out in July, and it is about having these conversations of how the creative within you yourself can be built. And we talk to many different humans from all different shapes and forms who have used their ways of creating a life that they want with art, and how their arts have connected themselves to that.
That's incredible. Well, thank you so much for being here today. If you would like to learn more about Adela and Project Human, make sure you head over to our website, dailynewsnetwork.com. All of their information will be listed there, and we will see you next time on Making a Difference.